Continental Cablevision's LOTV Channel 13 proudly welcomes you once again to a Mid-Suburban League contest. For the second straight week, it's another crossover game, as from Hoffman Estates, Illinois at Conant High School, the 1-1 Conant Cougars host the undefeated and 2-0 Fremd Vikings. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Lee Anderson. Once again, it's my pleasure to bring back Roger Simpson to our second game. Last week, Roger, we saw a barn burner, a 17-14 Buffalo Grove victory on the road over Hoffman Estates. First of all, talking about the visiting Fremd Vikings, they've certainly had an easy road thus far. A 27-6 win in their first game, and then last week a shutout victory, 38-0.
Yeah, that's correct, Lee. Talking to Coach Sam Majedny, he explained that they are an extremely defense-oriented program. You got to be extremely happy anytime that you give up only 6 points in 2 games. It's going to be key for them not to be making any mental mistakes on defense this evening. They are an extremely experienced ball club on defense, all seniors at this point, I think that they certainly will have their work cut out for them. Their first 2 games, probably not as strong as a club as the Conant team, but it should be, I think, a good game tonight.
What do you think their keys will be offensively and defensively up against the Cougars this evening?
Well, as I was saying, on defense, the turnover ratio has to be extremely good. So far, that has been excellent for them. I think they've gotten at least 1 or 2 turnovers, be it a fumble or an interception per game. Offensively, they've got the 2 big backs in Mitchell and Lazowski, who both have had extremely big games. Mitchell in particular has rushed for over 200 yards in the first 2 games. They'll again be looking for him to have a big game.
On the other side, for the Conant Cougars, they come up with a record of 1-1. They lost their first game. It was a non-conference game, the Naperville Central, by a count of 24-14. And then they won last week 21-19 over a Wheeling ball club, and certainly their tailback, John Parisso, has had 2 good ball games for him, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Again, he has also rushed for 100-plus yards in both games. The coach had to be real proud of his team. They were down 7-0 at half, and they came back valiantly and were able to win the game. Yes, they do have a big back in Parisso, and again, he will probably be getting the ball rather often this evening.
What do you think is going to be the keys for Conant coming into this contest tonight?
Well, I think it's going to be offensively the keys for both teams, and that is, I think we've got our first real chilly night of the season. Whoever can come out and I think dominate the line of scrimmage right off the bat is probably going to come out victorious in this game.
Do you think it's a disadvantage for Fremd? They come in with their 3rd straight road game, and then they've had 2 straight blowouts. On the other side, Conant, they lost their first game by 10 points, had a tough game last week. Psychologically, does it favor one team, or is that a bunch of hogwash as you look at it?
Well, you always like to play at home. These kids aren't traveling in airplanes and going over, thousands of miles. I think come Friday night in high school football, no matter where you're playing or who you're playing, I think you get excited to play. I'm sure Conant's probably going to have a few more fans here tonight, but I think they've displayed tremendous football capabilities on the road for 2 games. I think that it's not going to be a problem for them to play their 3rd consecutive game on the road.
So you feel also that the weather could play big deal in this game this evening, and also as it comes toward the later part of the game?
Perhaps. I think that it's going to stay dry is going to help. We had some rain this morning, but the field appears to be in pretty good shape. It will be a little nippy, but I think, as I said before, that because of the weather, I think if you can come out there and dominate that guy right across the line from you initially, perhaps you're going to gain that early psychological advantage.
We will find out the story coming up. We will have the opening kickoff from Conant High School as the Fremd Vikings take on the Conant Cougars. Stay tuned for Mid-Suburban League crossover football action coming up next.
Sports gifts for every fan. Featuring starter, jackets, jerseys, t-shirts, and hats. Brand name items, all sports, at Forest Park Mall, North Park Mall,
and Town and Country Mall.
Sports gifts for everyone. Stop by today.
Chicago sports fans know where to go. When toe meets leather with instantaneous velocity, the laws of force are set in motion. Rotation with constant acceleration equals the torque acting on total energy plus potential energy causes rotational kinematics and constant acceleration of rigid and free-falling bodies.
ESPN's college football is a force to be reckoned with. You'll see great games Thursdays and Saturdays live.
College football on ESPN in a class by itself.
I hate to blow your bubble, but the Bears really do. The Packers will win the division in 1992. Trust me. If you don't, tune to Bears Training 101, Monday nights at 7 p.m., and I'll tell you all about it.
Bears Training 101 live Monday nights at 7 p.m. Call in and talk live on the air about the Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers football seasons.
After dating the guy forever, you think I could tell him anything. Why is this so hard? I'm really scared.
It takes a lot of guts to tell someone he's too drunk to drive. But you can do it. Just say it. Because if you don't, there may be nothing left to say.
Kevin, I'm gonna drive.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Welcome back to Conant High School in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, as Roger Simpson and I, coming up, we'll have the opening kickoff in a contest that figures to be a good one indeed, Roger, as Fremd comes in with two big road victories. They are 2-0, taking on a Conant team that slipped in their first game. Fremd knocking off Glenbard North and Prospect by a combined total of 65-6, and on the other side, Conant losing to Naperville Central in their non-conference opener, 24-14, and then coming back last week with a win over Wheeling, 21-19. Roger, again, for people who haven't had a chance yet to see in the first two games either of these two teams, Fremd and Conant, give us a quick synopsis on both teams, if you will.
Sure. Fremd right now is going to be facing, to date, their toughest test of the year. Very impressive shutout last week, only giving up 6 points a week before that. They are a defense-oriented program, as I mentioned before. Their turnover ratio has been outstanding. They've got an excellent pass rush. What coach has been working on all week is blocking techniques on offense. Defensively, they're extremely well-balanced. They're all seniors. They're an equally talented bunch out there. I'll turn it back over to you as we are set for the kickoff here.
Here's the kickoff as Fremd will get the ball first, taken at the 10-yard line, out to the 20-yard line, still on his feet to the 28-yard line before he is brought down, and that was number 25. That was Graham Bartholomew. Check that. Number 26. And that was David Roski. So an 18-yard return, as it'll be a 1st and 10 situation for Fremd at their own 29-yard line as the Vikings have the ball first. They're coming from our right to left for the opening drive of the game.
Roski displayed good balance there, breaking a few tackles on the return.
Duran Bursa is the quarterback. Fremd in the I formation. First play of the ball game. Bursa back to throw, and he throws incomplete out of the hands of the split end Rusty Mann. And the clock is stopped 33 seconds into the ball game. It'll be 2nd and 10. The referee for tonight's game is Ed Curtin. The umpire, John Karnick. The linesman is Bill Lang. The line judge is Tim Fay. And the back judge is Jim Stahl. The fullback is Keith Lazowski. And the running back is Jimmy Mitchell. Mike Kelly, one of the wide receivers, along with Rusty Mann. And now into the game, split far to the right, is number 12, James Farrell, a senior split end. Handoff up the middle, straight forward for about a 2-yard gain to the 31-yard line is Keith Lazowski. He's out over the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 8.
And back on that first down play, perhaps a little element of surprise. They are a running-oriented offense, and certainly with the two backs in there, Lazowski and Mitchell, I would be looking for them to get the ball often this evening.
The front line, Nathan Brown, Chris Barton, Craig Crawford, Derek Bruick, and Christian John Kenteri for the Vikings. 3rd down and 8 for Fremd. There you get a look at Darren Bursa, the senior hurler. Handoff up the middle to Jimmy Mitchell, and he backs forward to the 37-yard line. He's a little bit short of a first down of about 2 yards, and Fremd's going to have to boot it away. Give it a 6-yard gain for Jimmy Mitchell. It'll be 4th down and 2 for Fremd at their own 37-yard line. On to punt will be number 50, Chris Barton. Back to receive for Conant, standing at his own 35-yard line, is number 80, Parag Patel. Chris Barton, he's a senior linebacker doing the punting for the Vikings. There's a look at Barton. High snap to Barton. Here's the boot. It's a short one, and it's falling down right at the 40-yard line and out of bounds at about the 37. And that's where Conant sets up shop for their first possession of the ball game. We're just about 2 minutes into this opening quarter, and there's no score.
Well, he did a heck of a job getting that punt off, as you saw. Number 20 for Conant, Henry Ortiz, run in there, almost blocked that punt.
1st down and 10 for Conant at their own 37-yard line. Their quarterback is senior Zach Doan, number 16. Omar Gutierrez and John Parisso represent the I formation. Handoff straight ahead to Parisso, and he is nailed immediately by Chris Barton, the guy who just booted the ball away for Fremd. A short gain of about 1 yard for Parisso. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9 for the Cougars.
Coming out of the ball game now is Omar Gutierrez. The flanker is Andy Templeton. He is to the near side. The split end to the far side, number 11, Trevor Mertz. Single back, that's Parisso in the backfield. 2nd down and 9 at the 38-yard line. Handoff again up the middle to Parisso. Shakes off a tackler. Still on his feet. Good effort by Parisso, but he is finally dragged down by number 58, Jim Mangelli, one of the linemen, a senior, 5'11", 195 pounds. A hard 2 yards earned for Parisso. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Parisso at 5'8" and 162, dragging those tacklers on him. Appears to be a fairly solid guy.
The linemen, Peter Marks, Phil LaJoya, John Whitty, Dave Shiner, Mark Saman, and the tight end is Jeff Wilson. 3rd and 7 for Conant at their own 40-yard line. 3 receivers to the far side. Back to pass is Doan. He's in some trouble, and there's a fumble off the sack. And let's see who's got the ball. It might be recovered by the Vikings. Let's wait and see. It's right at the 35-yard line, and in fact, Conant, fortunately for them, and I believe it was the quarterback, Zach Doan, gets the ball back, but not after a 5-yard loss, and Conant will have to boot it away. It'll be 4th down and 12 from their own 35-yard line. Back to receive for Conant is senior number 12, James Farrell, and also number 26, David Roski.
Coach Samajedny explained that his pass rush was excellent, and there we saw some of it.
Fair catch is taken by number 26, Roski, at the 20-yard line off the punt, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Fremd with their second possession of the ball game with 7:57 remaining in the first quarter, and there's no score. After this game, they each will have one more crossover game in the Mid-Suburban League before they get into their North and South League play. Fremd, they of course represent the Mid-Suburban League North, and Conant the Mid-Suburban League South. The quarterback is Duran Bursa. Lined up in the backfield is Lazowski, and Jimmy Mitchell is the tailback. Hand off to Jimmy Mitchell. He goes right side for about a 5-yard gain before he's stacked up by one of the inside linebackers, Jason Ambrosen, after a 5-yard gain. 2 carries now, 11 yards for Mitchell. It'll be 2nd down and 11. For Conant, their defensive end is Rob Solinsky. Their nose guard is Larry Fong, and the tackle is John Whitty, and the defensive end is Andy Donaldson. The 2 outside linebackers are Sean O'Neill and Tim Wazlowski. The 2 inside linebackers, Jason Ambrosen and Jeff Edwards, will set the secondary right after the 2nd and 5 play. two receivers to the far side. Coming in immediately and causing a fumble, and it's recovered by Conant inside the 10-yard line by, I believe, number 58 defensive end, Andy Donaldson. And Conant has the first big turnover of the ball game, and they'll have a first down and goal to go with 6:55 remaining in the first quarter at the 7-yard line. Jeff Edwards, number 33, made the initial hit on the quarterback, Duran Bursa, and then Andy Donaldson, the defensive end, got some help, but he ended up getting the ball inside the 10-yard line, and that's where Conant now has it first down and goal to go from there. Handoff now to number 44, Pariso. He goes left side inside the 5 down to about the 3-yard line. Pariso has a 3-yard gain. Check that, a 4-yard gain. And it'll be second down and goal to go from the 3-yard line.
Terrific defensive surge there by Conant a couple plays back. Got into the backfield of the Fremd offense. Able to put the hit on before the play even developed.
Henry Ortiz checks in, number 20 in the backfield for Omar Gutierrez. Mertz to the right and Templeton to the far left. Second down and goal to go. Hand off to Ortiz. He goes up the middle for a touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown up the middle by Henry Ortiz.
No.
Well, let's see now. I don't believe they've ruled it a touchdown. Call it a 2-yard gain inside the 1-yard line.
Looks like they're on the inch line.
So close, but yet so far. A couple of the Conant players ruled it a touchdown, but they didn't get the call from the referee. Third down and goal to go inside the 1-yard line. 5:24 and counting remaining in the first quarter. The I formation in the backfield behind Zach Doan. Hand off to Pariso up the middle, and on the next play, Conant gets the touchdown with 5:16 remaining in the first quarter following that turnover in which they recovered the ball inside the 10-yard line. They go 3 plays for a quick 7-yard drive and have the first points of the ball game on a 1-yard touchdown run by John Pariso. 6-0 in favor of the Conant Cougars with 5:16 remaining in the first quarter. On for the extra point is number 42, Andy Templeton. As you take a look at the Conant sidelines, have to be happy at this point. Here's the boot, right through the uprights, and it's perfect, as held by Bill Moriale. And with 5 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it's Conant 7 and Fremd nothing. Certainly the Vikings haunted by this first quarter turnover, giving the opposition the ball well into their own territory at their own 7-yard line.
Absolutely. Tremendous offensive line play there by Conant, pushing the defense off of the ball. But give credit to the whole offensive unit for coming through, capitalizing on that turnover, and putting the points on the board.
Coming up this Monday night, we will have on Sports File, it'll be the Jackman softball team with my good buddy from World Champion Lettuce, Dave Rule, on hand to co-host, as well as the coach of the Jackman for the past 12 years, in fact all 12 years, Ronnie Schabinger, and also his pitcher Ron Kuchera. They call him Cooch. That's Sports File with yours truly, Lee Anderson, this Monday night at 6 p.m. right here on LOTV Channel 13. And give us a call at 577-3859. We would love to hear from you. Back deep for Fremd, number 34, Jimmy Mitchell, along with number 26, David Roski, and number 37, Russell Rusty Mann. Conant will boot the ball away following that touchdown. Here's the kick by number 17, Dennis Bednars. Taken at the 5-yard line by Roski. He's out over the 20-yard line before he's hit by a herd of Conant tacklers, as the ball will be placed at about the 24-yard line. A 19-yard return by Roski. That's where Fremd begins their third possession of the first quarter, and certainly they'd like a much better situation this time around, as they fumbled the ball their last possession, setting up a first down and goal to goal inside their 10-yard line against them.
Very important here, I think, for the Fremd offense to get things going, come right back after that touchdown scored against them, step it up a level, and see if they can move the ball down the field here.
I formation. Man is the short receiver straight up the middle to Keith Lazowski out over the 25-yard line to about the 29-yard line. Good for a 5-yard gain for Lazowski. It'll be 2nd down and 5. 2nd down and 5 for the Vikings, coming in 2-0, winning their first game 27-6 over Glenbard North, and then a shutout victory over Prospect, both road victories. Last victory over the Knights, it was a 38-0 whitewashing over Prospect. 2nd down and 5. Now in motion is Mike Kelly to the far side. Handoff straight up the middle, Lazowski, and he's hit immediately by one of the inside linebackers, and he gets some help as well. Leading the tackle was Jason Ambrosen. Also got some help from one of the outside linebackers, Tim Wazlowski.
Coach Pendergast mentioned that he really would like to see Jason Ambrosen be very emotional during this game, step up his play, and really spur on this whole defensive unit, and there you certainly saw it. He took charge on that play.
Call it a 1-yard loss for Lazowski. It'll be 3rd down and about 6 for Fremd at their own 28-yard line. Handoff for the 3rd straight time. Lazowski, he gets out over the 30-yard line and maybe to about the 31 before he's knocked down there after a 3-yard gain. And Fremd's going to have to kick it away for the 2nd time in this first quarter as we have 3:37 remaining and counting in this first quarter, and Conant leading 7-0. Back to return for the Cougars, standing at his own 41-yard line for the 2nd time, awaiting the punt. And there you see him, number 80, Parag Patel, as Patel is a 5'8", junior, 140 pounds. Back to punt once again is Barton. Here's the snap. He boots it. It's a squibber off the side of his foot, it appeared. He kicked it at the 21-yard line, and it's only about a 20-yard punt as Conant will get the ball in great field position, in fact, in Fremd territory.
Fremd could be perhaps digging a hole for themselves here. Again, surrendering excellent field position to Conant.
Only a 24-yard punt by Barton. 1st down and 10 for the Cougars at the 45-yard line of Fremd. Conant trying to add to their 7-0 lead. Doan now hands it off to Parizo. He slides forward for about 2 yards to the 43-yard line. That'll be 2nd down and 8.
Number 44, John Parizo.
John Parizo in the first quarter has 5 carries for 10 yards and has a 1-yard touchdown for the lone score in this game by either club. The defensive backs, I failed to mention in their last defensive set, are number 12, James Farrell, and also number 25, Tim Lovell, and number 48, Spencer Palmer. Deuce backfield for Conant. Handoff again to Parizo. He's been a workhorse. He goes left side, and he is knocked down after maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage. It'll set up 3rd down and about still 8 for Conant.
The Vikings there doing an excellent job of stringing that sweep play out. Notice Parizo there was never able to square his shoulders up and run downfield. He gained about 15 yards laterally and maybe 1 or 2 going downfield.
A player shaken up, I should say, momentarily. That was Parizo. He comes out of the ball game, making way by number 32, Anthony Spizzery. Anthony Spizzery now in for Parizo. 3rd down and 9 yards to go for Conant. The ball at the 44-yard line of Fremd. Hand off to number 20, and he's knocked down at about the 42-yard line, and that was Henry Ortiz. Give him about a 2-yard gain. It'll be 4th down for Conant, so they fail to take advantage, Roger, of a situation where they opened up with great field position at the Fremd 45-yard line, unable to get a 1st down, however.
Yeah, these last few possessions for both teams, it appears that they're having a little difficulty with the ground game. Perhaps we may see both offensive squads going to the air a little bit more. Personally, I'd rather see that. I'd like to see a little bit of that myself.
Here's the boot, sky high, but not real far. Fair catch is called inside the 5-yard line and not saved in time. by number 10, Sean O'Neill. O'Neill is one of the outside linebackers. Made a good effort, but it was unable to knock the ball back, so Fremd, instead of starting deep in their own territory, gets the ball at their own 20-yard line as we're nearing the end of the first quarter with 1:22 remaining in the quarter, and Conant still leading Fremd by a touchdown, 7-0. Roger, your thoughts early on so far in the game?
Well, it looks like the game so far, with the exception of Conant able to capitalize on that turnover deep in the Viking territory, the game's basically been played between, almost could say the two 40-yard lines.
Mangan to the far side, handoff to Jimmy Mitchell. Mitchell really going nowhere. Good pursuit by the defensive line of Conant as Mitchell struggles to get back, if at best, the line of scrimmage.
See there, Mitchell, like Parizo on the last series, was unable to square his shoulders up and run downfield. The defense there, a fine job of stringing the play out.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Call it a loss of 1 by Jimmy Mitchell. It'll be 2nd down and 11 for Fremd. The ball at their own 19-yard line. Mangan now, Michael Mangan, he's also a fine basketball player for the Vikings. He's to the near side. Mike Kelly and James Farrell to the right side. Back to pass is Bursa, and he's in some trouble, but he's able to squirt forward for a couple of yards close to the 25-yard line, so Bursa looked like he was going to maybe get back to, at best, the line of scrimmage, but he was able to squirt forward for about a 5-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and 6. That's the first carry of the ball game for Darren Bursa. 3rd down and call it 5 now at Fremd's own 25-yard line. It's going to be very difficult for the Vikings to get off a final play of this first quarter. They're certainly going to have to hurry, and in fact, I don't think they'll make it. No, they won't. That'll end the first quarter here at Conant High School in Hoffman Estates with the score: the Conant Cougars 7 and the Fremd Vikings nothing. We will take this brief timeout and come back for the second quarter right after these commercial messages.
Hi, this is Alan Stagg asking you to watch Through the Wire with Pat DeMarco, Tuesdays at 6:30 on Channel 13. If you don't, this plant will never see water again.
Every year, an estimated 500,000 women past 45 will have a heart attack. Nearly half will die. Ask your doctor or call us, because what you don't know about heart disease may kill you.
Welcome back to Conant High School in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, along with Roger Simpson. This is Lee Anderson for the start of the second quarter. Fremd trailing Conant 7-0 as the Vikings have it in a 3rd and 5 situation from their own 25. Straight up the middle as the ball carrier drags a couple of Conant tacklers to about the 28-yard line, but he's going to be shy of the first down, and that was number 32, Robert McKay. Robert McKee, the ball carrier, number 32, as he gets about a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 4th down and 2, and Fremd is going to have to boot it away once again.
There's a draw play, which is an interesting call. That's typically a play you want to run after several passes. You set that play up, and we've seen one passing attempt in the whole game.
Barton on to punt for the 3rd time of the first half as Conant's going to get the ball here in the first minute of the second quarter in a 7-0 lead. Here's the snap and the boot. Parag Patel back deep for Conant. He's going to let it bounce. It takes a Fremd bounce inside the 30 before it's down at about the 25-yard line, as that's where Conant will set up for their first possession here in the second quarter with 54 seconds into the second quarter. In case you've just joined us, following a sack and a fumble by the defense of Conant, they got the ball inside the Fremd yard line, in fact, at the 7-yard line, and then 3 plays later, It was a 1-yard touchdown run by tailback John Parisot, and the point after was good at the 5:16 mark, and Conant took a 7-0 lead, and that's where it is right now as we stand early here in the second quarter at Conant High School. Zach Doan has his troops out. He's back to pass, and he wheels right sidelines, and it's complete to senior split end Trevor Mertz, and it's about a 8-yard gain out over the 30-yard line to about the 33-yard line. It'll be second down and a short 2. Second and 2, excuse me, Roger.
That's all right. That's got to be good for Doan's confidence to complete his first pass of the game.
Second down and 2 for Conant. Single back in the backfield for the Cougars. The ball at their own 33-yard line. Hand up to middle, and going nowhere is number 20, Henry Ortiz. I believe he just got back to the line of scrimmage. It's now going to be a third down and a long 2 as number 84, Steve Alavi, a backup tight end, comes into the Cougars lineup along with Omar Gutierrez entering the lineup, and going out is Trevor Mertz. Call it a 1-yard gain for Ortiz, who's able to squirt forward for 1 yard. It's going to be third down and a long 1 for the Cougars. The ball at their own 34-yard line. I formation in the backfield. Andy Templeton, the receiver to the near side. Over the middle is Ortiz, and I believe he was able, as he was spun around almost in a 360 situation for the first down. I believe they're going to move the chains.
For the Vikings, number 50, Christopher Barton. And that's the first down for the Cougars.
4 carries now for Ortiz for 6 yards. 9:54 remaining and counting in the first half, and Conant leading 7-0.
Cougars 35-yard line.
Mertz re-enters the lineup, replacing Steve Alavi. Near side now is Andy Templeton to the far side, and now in motion is number 86, the tight end, as he switches sides, Jeff Wilson. I formation in the backfield. Back to pass is Doan. He goes left side, and a nice, almost one-handed catch by number 42, Andy Templeton, out over the 40-yard line to about the 42-yard line, a pickup of 6.
Andy Templeton makes an excellent catch here. The ball was thrown slightly behind him, and he was able to throw up the right arm and trap it on his right shoulder pad there. And certainly it wasn't like he was by himself. There was at least 1 or 2 Viking defenders right there. An excellent catch by Templeton.
Templeton now to the far side. As it's second down, call it 5 yards on that completion at their own 41-yard line. Ortiz shakes off a couple of tacklers, and he squirts out over the 45-yard line and has another Conant first down at the 47-yard line, a pickup of 6 for Ortiz. He's come in and done a good job so far in this first half, has Ortiz, replacing primarily Omar Gutierrez.
First and 10 for the Cougars.
First down and 10 for Conant, their second first down of this drive, which began at their own 24-yard line. The ball now at their own 47-yard line. Now in motion, coming to the near side, as you see on your screen, is Templeton. Handoff up the middle, and diving forward is Ortiz once again to the 49-yard line. A pickup of 2. It'll be second down and 8 for the Cougars at their own 49.
By number 75, Christian G.
Ortiz now has carried the ball the most by either team. He has 6 carries for 14 yards. Coming out is Gutierrez for Conant. By the way, the Cougars, in case you've never had a chance to see Conant, they are coached by Dave Pendergast. He's in his 6th year at the helm, overall his 19th year at Conant. And Joe Samojedny is the head man for the Fremd Vikings. Second and 8 for Conant. The ball at their own 49-yard line. Back to pass is Doan. He throws, and it's complete at the 45-yard line to junior wide receiver Parag Patel. He's also their punt returner, and it's going to be about 2 yards short of a first down, a pickup of about 6. It'll be third and 2.
Patel does an excellent job there, squaring up, turning around, facing the ball, making the catch with the defender right on his back, shielding the ball from the defender. It was excellent coverage. He made a great catch there.
Mertz to the near side. Andy Templeton to the right. 2 receivers set up simultaneously to the right side of the backfield. Third down and 2 from the 46, and getting sacked Back into Conant territory is Doan. Back to the 45-yard line. A loss of about 9 yards. That's the second sack of the ball game for Fremd. In fact, it was a 10-yard loss. Or we'll even call it 12 now to be even more exact. Back to the 44-yard line of Conant, as they're now in a fourth down situation. As on to punt is number 17, Dennis Bednar, standing at his own 30. 6.5 minutes remaining in the first half. It's still 7-0. Kick is almost blocked, and it's taken by Roski as he falls down at about the 29-yard line. And that's where Fremd will set up their next offensive possession with 6 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and Conant still leading via that 1-yard touchdown run with 5 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter by John Parizo, 7-0.
30-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Vikings.
1st and 10 now for Fremd, to be more exact, at their own 30-yard line. Craig Crawford, their big center, right next to Chris Barton and number 60, Derek Brewick. 1st down and 10. And going right side and getting hit immediately at about the 31-yard line for a short gain was number 37, Russell Mann. Mann is a split end as he was coming left side from his split end position for a short gain. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Ambrose in there with a good, solid one-on-one tackle, showing good tackling fundamentals, meeting the man straight on, wrapping and taking him down.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9 for the Vikings.
2nd down and 9 for Fremd. The ball at their own 31-yard line. Michael Mangan to the near side. Mike Kelly and James Farrell to the far side. Back to pass is Bursa on 2nd and 9, and he throws out of the hands of number 81, Mike Kelly, as he was running down the left sidelines at about the 37-yard line. It was incomplete. It'll now be 3rd down and 9, as so far Bursa is yet to complete a pass, but that was only his 2nd attempt of the ball game.
3rd and 9 for the Vikings.
5 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the first half. Conant leading Fremd by a touchdown, 7-0. Along with Roger Simpson, this is Lee Anderson. Hope you're enjoying all the action right here on LOTV Channel 13. By the way, tonight's game, as always, a great job, well done by the entire Continental Cablevision crew. It's being directed by John Dahlberg. Bursa's almost sacked. He throws it to Lazowski, and as it turns out, Fremd gets close to a 1st down near the 40-yard line. We're going to have to wait and see what kind of a spot Fremd will get. I believe he's going to be a little bit short, however.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he will be, looks like,
Pass was completed.
2 to 3 yards short.
Call it about an 8-yard gain to the 39-yard line. They're going to be at least a good yard short, but at least Bursa is able to complete his first pass of the ball game. From our vantage point, Roger, it doesn't look like Fremd is really that close to a 1st down, and in fact they aren't. Well, they're about a good...
Yeah, it looks like about a 1.5 feet. About a foot.
You'd have to figure that the ball is right at about their own 39-yard line. Fremd would have to kick it away. It seems like their fans across the other way, as we are sitting right above the Conant partisans, they really want the Vikings to go for it, and I believe they are.
I think they are going for it.
This could be a big play for both teams. If Conant can stop them, they'll set up shop in great field position, and if Fremd can get a 1st down, it might give them a little bit of momentum, as their offense has been a little bit stalled in the first half.
Looks like I think they'll go to Lazowski.
And now a timeout is being called by Bursa. It'll be their first timeout of the first half, stopping the clock with 4 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the first half, and Conant still leading Fremd 7-0. By the way, we had our opening show, and it was certainly a lot of fun. Last Monday night, it was Bears Training 101, and if you want some good old fun featuring a lot of Green Bay Packers and Bears talk, be sure you join Bears Training 101. It's a live show following Sports File that's at 6 p.m. every Monday night, as George Hallis is the moderator between longtime Packer fan Ron Knutson and also Don Gerstein. You can watch Bears Training, as you see on your monitor, live Mondays at 7 p.m. right here on LOTV, Channel 13, and of course on that show, as well as Sports File. We take your phone calls, and we love to hear from you at 577-3859. Certainly no love lost between the Packers and the Bears, Rogers.
Ever.
Third down. Check that. Fourth down coming up.
Fourth and a foot. What do you
about
think?
Less than, in fact, 1 yard.
What do you look for here, Lee?
I think they're going to go straight up the middle. But this could be an unpredictable play.
Lazowski?
I would have to say so.
I think you got to go with the strength there.
Keith Lazowski, the big guy. Also a basketball player in the backfield along with Jimmy Mitchell. No, it's a keeper by Bursa, and it looks to be a first down for Fremd.
The quarterback, number 6.
Out over the 40-yard line.
He's got plenty.
Right, and Fremd's able to keep the drive going with 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. In fact, he got about 3. He got the half yard he needed plus about 2.5 more.
Good offensive line surge.
First and 10.
First down and 10 now for the Vikings. The ball at their own 42-yard line. Craig Crawford, he's always quick to come out of the huddle. The big center, the 6', 200-pound senior. He knows all those plays, I'm sure.
He just needs to know when the ball's coming out.
First and 10. Under center is Bursa. Bursa now back to pass on the left sideline. Got a man open, and Farrell makes a nice diving attempt, but comes up a little short near the 30-yard line of Conant as the pass is incomplete, stopping the clock with 3:57 remaining in the first half.
Farrell looked like he had his man beat. Ball just a little overthrown. Hell of an effort, though, by Farrell.
Ball on the Viking 42-yard line.
Second down and 10 now for Fremd. The ball at their own 42-yard line. Talking about Keith Lazowski, though, boy, he was certainly a big part of their sectional win over Conant in our last broadcast. Between, in fact, these two teams, and we'll get more about that game after this play. 3:57 remaining in the first half. Fremd trailing 7-0. Under center now, handing off to Mann. Mann has near a first down into Conant territory as he stopped after about a 10-yard gain to the Conant 48-yard line.
A nice little counter play there by the Fremd Vikings. Opened up a huge hole for him to run through.
Very close to a first down, and in fact, we're going to get the measurement. But talking about that game, that was our last basketball game of the season last year, as the measurement is taking place.
Looks like he's got it. Oh, yes he does.
The referee making the call, that's Ed Curtin. But in that game, it was a sectional game at Fremd High School. Fremd, they knocked off Conant by a deuce. They went into about a 2-minute stall, and then Keith Lazowski, he cut a back door and got the pass and laid the ball in off the glass left side with 4 seconds remaining, and Fremd was able to go on to the Super Sectionals and 1 game away from going downstate before they lost by a dozen to East Aurora. But what a thrill it was to call that game. Handoff straight forward to that man I just mentioned, Lazowski. He has about a 2-yard gain to the 46-yard line before he is stopped there. It'll be second down and 8.
Made by number 10, Sean O'Neill.
Sean O'Neill, the outside linebacker, the senior with the tackle there for the Cougars.
O'Neill and a host of others. Good team defense there. Fine example of team tackling.
A little bit chillier tonight as our last broadcast was during the day, and it was absolutely gorgeous. That was a summer-like day, temperature in the 80s, but certainly not tonight. This is what football is all about. It's certainly fall weather this evening. Second down and 8 for the Vikings. The ball resting at the Conant 46-yard line. Hand off to Mitchell, and he's caught in the backfield and pulled back for about a 2-yard loss. And I believe that was one of the inside linebackers, number 33, Jeff Edwards. Nice play by Edwards.
Edwards displaying some excellent quickness there, getting through the offensive line into the backfield to make the play, to make the tackle before the play even had a chance to develop.
One of the things defensively that Conant wanted to do, and they've certainly done that big time in the first half, was key on the running backs, Lazowski and Mitchell, and thus far the two combined have 9 carries for only 19 yards. That's just a little over 2 yards per carry between them. Third down and 10 from the 48-yard line. Under center is Bursa. Pitch off, and it's fumbled by Mitchell and recovered by Conant. The second miscue of the first half for Fremd, and Conant takes over at their own 48-yard line. It seemed to be, it was a little bit too high of a toss from Bursa to Mitchell, Roger.
It was a somewhat sloppy lateral. On top of that, perhaps he took his eye off the ball before trying to catch it.
First and 10 for the Cougars.
1:55 remaining in the first half. As it's first and 10 for Conant, the ball now, call it their own 49-yard line. So certainly the Cougars have an excellent opportunity to put some more points on the scoreboard before the intermission. Now in motion, near side is Ortiz. Little short pass, it looked like it was deflected away. And we'll check on who it was deflected away. I believe it was number 86, the guy you see on your screen now. Senior defensive lineman Jason Heinzel. It'll be second down and 10.
On that quick out pass like that, Zach Doan's got to put a little more speed on the ball. He kind of fluttered it. When the play happens that quickly, you got to get it out to him right away.
I think he had to lob it in the air a little more too, as Heinzel's a pretty tall kid. He's 6'2". In motion once again near side is Ortiz. Second down and 10 for Conant. Little shuffle pass to number 80, Patel, and he is knocked down by one of the defensive backs, number 12, James Farrell. But the shuffle pass goes for about 6 yards. It'll be third down and 4.
Tackle made by number 50, Christopher Barton.
The tackle made by Chris Barton, number 50. Call it a 6-yard completion from Doan to Patel. Clock stopped with 1:27 remaining in the first half, and let's wait and see. As Dave Pendergast now is calling out a signal. There is no timeout. No, there's officials timeout. As Pendergast now yelling instructions to his quarterback, Zach Doan. Third down now, and call it 5 for Conant. The ball at the Fremd 46-yard line. I formation in the backfield. Back to pass is Doan. Over the middle and open, and it's almost intercepted by number 25, Tim Lovell. I think he felt like he should have had that ball, but he was able to break it up, and now it's going to be fourth down and 5. And Conant, following that turnover, they were unable to move the ball. And fortunately for Fremd, no harm done on that turnover. They're going to get the ball back with 1:24 remaining in the first half. On to punt once again is Dennis Bednars. And back standing at about his own 12-yard line is David Roski, 5-foot senior, 162 pounds. Here's the boot taken by Roski at about the 20, and he is hit immediately. It looked like it was a runaway locomotive tackle there by number 41, Jason Ambrosian, coming up with a fine special teams play as one of the inside linebackers.
Coach Pendergast explained that he wanted to work on it. He had been working on his kicking game in practice all week. Wanted to get better coverage, wanted to provide better protection for the punter, and there it looks like what they worked on in practice certainly paid off for him. Jason Ambrosian getting down there making a fine play.
1:08 remaining in the first half. First and 10 for Fremd. The ball at their own 21-yard line. Mann and Farrell split to the far side. Mike Kelly, or check that to the near side. Mike Kelly to the far side. Quick pass to Farrell. He moves away from a tackler and is down near the 30-yard line. Call it about an 8-yard gain from Bursa to Farrell. It'll be second down and a short 2. Clock running, 40 seconds remaining. I believe Fremd has got all 3 of their timeouts, and you would figure that they would use at least one of them.
They just did.
Yes, in fact, they do, with 39 seconds remaining in the first half. And a second down and 2 for Fremd at their own 29-yard line. 7-0 here in the final minute of the first half. Conant leading Fremd via a 1-yard touchdown following a turnover, with 5 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter on a 1-yard TD plunge by John Parizo. I'm interested to see highly touted Palatine coming up in 1 week as they host Prospect. Jeff Heklinski has had 2 fine ball games, and currently the Palatine Pirates, they're ranked number 2 in Class 5A behind Chicago Mount Carmel. So that'll be our next LOTV Channel 13 football broadcast. It'll be another Mid-Suburban League crossover as the Palatine Pirates, led by quarterback Jeff Heklinski from the Mid-Suburban League North, will be taking on the counterparts from the Mid-Suburban League South, the Prospect Knights. That's our next football broadcast for you here on LOTV Channel 13.
Looking forward to seeing Heklinski.
Oh, he's a great one. 2nd down and 2 for Fremd. There hasn't been a penalty thus far in this first half. Bursa now throws down the sidelines, and it's complete to Farrell, and it's about a 14-yard gain after he is shoved out of bounds at about the 43, and it's a 1st down for the Vikings. Back-to-back receptions by Farrell has given Fremd some pretty good field position now at their own 44-yard line, but they only have 35 seconds remaining in the first half, so you would have to figure that Bursa is going to have to air it out and come up with some big completions if Fremd is going to have any chance of at least putting up a field goal here before the gun of the first half. Now in motion to the far side is Mangan. 1st down and 10 for the Vikings. The ball at their own 44-yard line. Bursa back to pass. He now rolls and takes it to himself. Right sidelines, and he's knocked out of bounds after only about a 1-yard gain to the 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for Fremd. Clock stopped as 4 seconds were knocked off the clock. 31 seconds remaining, as there's going to be a penalty, however, on that play.
See, you had to open your mouth about a penalty-free game and what happens on the next play or the second play. We got our first penalty.
The old whammaroo never fails. That's the first penalty of the ball game. Illegal procedure coming up against the Vikings. That'll back them up 5. And as I mentioned, that's the first penalty of the first half. And we have only 31 seconds until the intermission. So negate that 1-yard run from Bursa. It'll be 1st down and now 15 for Fremd. The ball at their own 39-yard line. To the near side is Michael Mangan and Rusty Mann. To the far side of the field is James Farrell. I formation now in motion is Rusty Mann to the far side. Bursa now rolls left, and the pass is complete by Farrell. Nicely done. No, incomplete. It looked initially that he had made the catch, but apparently he had trapped it as it hit the ground first before it rolled up into his arms. So it'll be 2nd down and 15 for Fremd as 7 more seconds roll off the clock, as the clock is down to 24 seconds remaining in the first half.
39-yard line.
Ball at the 39-yard line. Fremd having it in their own territory. 2nd down and 15. Conant leading the Vikings of Fremd 7-0. We're into the final 24 seconds of the first half. Farrell now is to the near side. And now rolling back is Bursa. He throws down the right sidelines. Could be picked off. In fact, it is by number 40, the junior cornerback, Brian Daly, as with 18 seconds remaining in the first half, he has the first interception of the ball game. That's 3 turnovers now, 2 fumbles, and now 1 interception by Fremd here in the first half. Conant now has the ball at their own 23-yard line. Roger, in that situation, it's almost like a good punt.
Absolutely. Well, I think it, with 18, now the clock running, 15 seconds on the clock, it's first half is pretty much academic.
I think at best we're going to see 1 play. We may even be hard-pressed for the final play of the first half. I don't think we're going to get it off.
In that situation, you throw it up, and hopefully your guy runs underneath it, or perhaps you get a pass interference call or something of that nature to get the ball down the field. But in that case, obviously nothing happened.
That'll do it for the first 24 minutes of play. It's still anybody's ball game. At the end of the first half at Conant High School, the Conant Cougars lead the Fremd Vikings on a 1-yard touchdown run by John Parizo in the first quarter, 7-0. We'll have halftime stats and the opening kickoff right after this timeout as you're watching the game of the week here on Continental Cablevision. Stay with us, fans.
Shape up with ESPN's Midday Workout. First at 11, Body by Jake gets your engine started with a workout and great health and fitness information. Keep on going at 11:30 with a well-rounded routine on getting fit with Denise Austin. You'll keep on moving at noon with aerobic exercise on Bodies in Motion. And then at 12:30, Body Shaping helps you tone up and slim down. It's better to look good and feel good on ESPN's Midday Workout.
weapons used in the world, in the last 40 years, none had more power than this one.
Welcome back to Conant High School in Hoffman Estates, along with Roger Simpson. This is Lee Anderson as Conant leads Fremd through the first 24 minutes by a count of 7-0. In case you're just joining us, the lone points of the ball game, in fact, to be even more exact, the lone touchdown was in the first quarter, following a fumble recovery by Conant's number 58 defensive end Andy Donaldson, as caused by one of the inside linebackers, Jeff Edwards, on Fremd quarterback Derek Bursa. The Cougars set up shop inside the 10-yard line of Fremd, first down and goal at the 7-yard line. 3 plays later, it was a 3-play short 7-yard drive, capped off by a 1-yard touchdown run by John Parizo at the 5:16 mark. It's been pretty, other than that, nip and tuck for either team to get yardage. Overall, in the first half, Fremd has 40 yards rushing, 31 yards passing, as their quarterback, Duran Bursa, the senior, is 3 for 8 with 31 yards through the air and 1 interception. There has been only 1 penalty in the first half. It was against Fremd, and it was for 5 yards. So when you subtract the 5 yards via that 1-yard penalty, Fremd has a combined total of just 66 yards of total offense in the first half. On the other side, despite leading 7-0, Conant has just 32 yards of total offense, as they have just 6 yards rushing combined in the first half, 26 yards passing, as their senior quarterback, Zach Doan, has had a pretty good percentage of completions in the first half. He's 5 for 6, but for only 26 yards. There's been no penalties for Conant in the first half, so they have a 7-0 lead, but yet they have been out-totaled in yardage, 66-32. One thing to point out for Fremd, one of their big keys is Jimmy Mitchell, the running back, and Keith Lazowski in the fullback. They certainly were vital cogs in the offense in their first 2 wins. In the first week over Glenbard North, 27-6, and in the second week, 38-0. But this contest, they have yet to score in the first half, and those 2 combined, Lazowski and Jimmy Mitchell, have carried the ball 10 times for only 18 yards. That's only 1.8 yards per carry. Keith Lazowski in the first half is the leading ball carrier for Fremd. He has 5 carries for 11 yards. Jimmy Mitchell has 5 carries for 7 yards. Their quarterback, Duran Bursa, has 2 carries for 8 yards. Robert McKee has 1 carry for 3 yards, and Rusty Mann, their split end, has countered with a couple of handoffs, and he has 2 carries for 11 yards, tying him for team honors rushing-wise in the first half for Keith Lazowski. For Conant, Zach Doan has carried the ball a couple of times for -17 in yardage, that being because he has been sacked twice. John Parizo, who in the first 2 weeks, in their loss to Naperville Central 24-14, he got 130 yards rushing. And in their 2-point win a week ago over Wheeling, 21-19, he had 111 yards rushing. Thus far, it's been tough going for Parizo in the first half, but he did hurt, it appeared, his ankle in the first half. So hopefully John Parizo will be back, if not 100%, pretty darn close for these final 24 minutes, as Parizo has 6 carries for 9 yards, but as I mentioned just a short time ago, he is responsible for the lone score in the first half. It was a 1-yard touchdown with 5 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Henry Ortiz has 6 carries for 14 yards. As Conant, as I mentioned, 32 yards of total offense in the first half, but despite that low total, thanks to that turnover deep in Fremd territory, they have a 7-0 lead. By the way, to the fine people of Potestas, we would like to thank them for feeding the crew tonight. They have 2 restaurants in Hoffman Estates. That's 1260 West Higgins, as well as in Buffalo Grove, that's 86 West Dundee. And we thank Potestas Pizza for contributing to our football broadcasts here on LOTV Channel 13 for 1992. Fremd will kick it off, and here we go at the second half. It bounces at the 25-yard line, back deep into Conant territory, and finally the ball is down, as despite you touching the ball in fair territory, if the ball bounces back into your own end zone, you are still able to down the ball, and that, I believe, was number 24, as you just saw him on your monitor, John Scorza, downing the ball in his own end zone. So Conant will have the ball to start the first possession of the second half, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line, and I'm joined once again by Roger Simpson for half number 2.
Personally, I'd like to see a little more offense this side.
1st and 10 now for Conant to the near side. Trevor Mertz to the far side. Andy Templeton. Handoff straight up the middle, and the ball carrier gets short yardage, maybe about a yard to the 21-yard line before he's stacked up right there. It'll be 2nd down and 9, and I believe that was Ortiz with the carry.
Ball carrier was number 20, Henry Ortiz.
Henry Ortiz now 7 carries in the ball game for 15 yards. Just starting the third quarter, 7-0 in favor of Conant. Opening possession of the second half. I formation in the backfield. Mertz to the near side, Templeton to the far side. Handoff up the middle again for short yardage. Out over the 20-yard line, down at about the 22-yard line for about a 1-yard gain. That was John Parizo. Short gain once again of only 1 yard. It'll be 3rd down and 8 from the 22-yard line.
Gain of 1, 3rd and 9 for the Cougars.
We're into the first minute of the third quarter. Conant leading 7-0 over Fremd. Conant coming in at 1-1. Fremd undefeated at 2-0. Let's see if we see a pass on 3rd and 8. In fact, we will. Here's Doan. He throws. Knock up in the air. Free ball. And I believe it's intercepted by Fremd inside the 35-yard line of Conant. And a big turnover, and that's exactly possibly what the offense of Fremd needed. An opening turnover deep in Conant territory to start the third quarter. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Fremd at the Conant 34-yard line.
Well, it appears as if Fremd has an opportunity here to do the same thing that Conant did to them. They've got a big turnover early in the second half. They've got an opportunity here to capitalize, go in and score, and even this game up.
Interception by Richard Cordova, one of the linebackers. Straight up the middle is Jimmy Mitchell. Inside the 30 before he's down at about the 27. It looked initially at his first carry in the second half. He really has put an extra jump start into his carry.
Well, the Vikings going right to their strength, giving the ball to Mitchell, going off tackle. Big gain, fine run, and yes, I agree with you. It appears that he had a little more explosion through the hole there.
2nd and 4 for the Vikings.
Call it about a 6-yard gain now for Jimmy Mitchell. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for Fremd. The ball inside the Conant 30-yard line at the 27. To the near side is James Farrell. To the far side, Rusty Mann. Lazowski and Mitchell represent the I formation. Handoff once again to Mitchell. He gets a short gain close to the 25-yard line. Call it about a 1-yard gain. It's going to set up 3rd down and a long 2 for the Vikings.
Larry Fong. Gain of 1.
Jimmy Mitchell now in the ball game has 7 carries for 15 yards.
26 yards.
It's a big 3rd down play here. They've got 3 yards to go for the 1st down. They've got to maintain this drive. It would do this team a wonderful opportunity if they could score here. Give them a tremendous lift for the remainder of the game.
Here's the 3rd down and 2 play. Handoff to Mitchell, and Mitchell is not cold as he is hit immediately by number 41, Jason Ambrosen. And Ambrosen, as Coach Pendergast told you, he wanted to have a good game from his junior linebacker, and certainly he has been splendid this evening, as it's a no-gainer for Jimmy Mitchell. It's going to be 4th down for Fremd.
I believe the word that Coach Pendergast used was want him to play with more emotion, and he certainly played with, certainly on that particular play, with a lot of emotion. Big stop. Well, they're going for it here.
As they are, 4th down and 3 for Fremd at the 26 of Conant. Hand off to Mitchell inside the 25. He's got the 1st down inside the 20 before he's finally tackled at the 17. Mitchell gets a big 4th down and 3 1st down. A pickup of 9 as Fremd now is inside the Conant 20. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the Cougar 17.
Mitchell showed a lot of patience there, it appeared, waiting for that play to develop. He had a wall of blockers in front of him, and he didn't get out ahead of himself. He was able to stay back, follow those blocks, and pick up big yardage for a key first down.
Call it even better for Fremd. The ball marked at the 16-yard line of Conant. First down and 10. To the near side is Rusty Mann. To the far side is James Farrell. Lazowski and Mitchell in the I formation. Handoff right side. He could go all the way. Mitchell inside the 5. He's got a touchdown. Here comes Jimmy Mitchell. After somewhat of a silent first half, the senior running back has exploded following the turnover and is now capped off on a 16-yard touchdown. And we have a 1-point game in favor of Conant. 7-6 pending the extra point with 7:37 remaining in the third quarter. 16-yard touchdown run for the first points of the ball game. Right side by Jimmy Mitchell, the senior running back, 5'9", 176 pounds. Chris Barton on to attempt the extra point, which would tie it. And in fact, it does. Folks, we have a tie ball game. 7 minutes, 37 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It's Fremd 7 and Conant 7.
As we said before, Jimmy Mitchell appears to have stepped up his intensity level a notch. I would have to say that the whole offensive unit of the Vikings in general also stepped up their intensity. Give them credit, just as Conant did in the first half, capitalizing on that turnover, taking the ball in to get an early score and certainly make this what appears to be a very interesting ball game.
Well, as it looks right now, Roger, as we're near the halfway point of this third quarter, both turnovers have set up the other team's touchdowns in this game.
Absolutely.
We have a tie ball game.
Big key there also is off of those turnovers, the receiving team of that turnover ended up with excellent field position.
Kicking off for the Vikings.
Jimmy Mitchell now with that 16-yard touchdown run has 10 carries for 42 yards. And on that drive alone in the first half, he had 5 carries for only 7 yards. He now has 5 carries here almost halfway through the third quarter for a total of 35 yards. He's already equaled that, plus he's added on an extra 21 yards on that drive alone. Back deep is Henry Ortiz, along with...
Because I know I'll...
It's taken by Ortiz at the 5-yard line, out over the 10. Ortiz still on his feet, and he's tripped up at about the 25-yard line after about a 20-yard return.
This will be a very, very big possession for the Cougars. After coughing up the... have to come back, move the ball here, show that they can control it. The Vikings of Fremd have obviously come back into the game. They're playing with a lot of emotion right now. It'll be very important for them to start to move the ball down the field at this point.
Zach Doan brings Conant out offensively with the game now tied. Handoff straight up the middle to Pariso. Pariso pushes forward for a couple yards as he's hit at the 27-yard line. As it's about a 3-yard carry, it'll be second down and 7. 8 carries now in the game for Pariso for 13 yards. Again for Conant, their quarterback is senior Zach Doan. The fullback is senior Omar Gutierrez, and the tailback is John Pariso. The split end is number 11 Trevor Mertz, and the flanker number 42 Andy Templeton, and the tight end number 86 senior Jeff Wilson. Second and 7, straight ahead is Pariso. He's out over the 30-yard line before he's knocked down at about the 32. A pickup of 4 more for Pariso on second and 7. It'll now be third down and about 3 as we have 6 minutes and 20 seconds and counting here in the third quarter. Our second straight good ball game and a 7-7 tie here at Conant High School between the Cougars of Conant and the Fremd Vikings. Third down and call it 3. For the Cougars, the ball at their own 32-yard line. Handoff once again to Pariso. He's tripped up in the backfield. It looked like by number 26, David Roski. Check that, number 28, Richard Cordova, the man on the last possession for Fremd, made that big interception at the Conant 34-yard line. So Pariso, as Dave Pendergast, despite his team not getting the first down, trying to keep his offense up.
Cordova did a phenomenal job there fighting through that block and making that tackle in the backfield of the Cougars.
On to punt is Dennis Bednars for the first time in the second half, as Fremd will get the ball back and a chance to tie. Good rush applied. Could have been roughing the punter, but no call made. Roski is into Conant territory before he's down at the 45 of Conant. And the Conant fans sitting right below us here in our broadcast booth at Conant High School wanted roughing the kicker, but they aren't able to get the call. So with 5 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Fremd once again with great field position into Conant territory.
I quite frankly don't know why he didn't throw the flag on that. That was roughing the kicker, Lee.
No call was made, much to the disapproval here of Conant and much to the happiness of Fremd on the other side. First down and 10 as Bursa rolls to his left briefly and he throws incomplete. James Farrell diving for the ball at about the 30-yard line. As so far in the second half, Bursa starts off 0 for 1 with the incompletion. Clock stopped with 4:52 remaining in the third quarter. Second and 10 for Fremd. The ball at the Conant 45-yard line. Fremd, next week they will have, believe it or not, their first home game. This is their third straight road game to start the season. They host Elk Grove, and Conant next Friday they will host Rich Roberts and Buffalo Grove. Two receivers to the near side, one to the far side, and it looks like we're going to have our first penalty. It's going to be against Conant, I believe. That'll be their first penalty of the ball game at the 4:52 mark of the third quarter. I think it's going to be offsides against the Cougars.
I think so too. Boy, I tell you, if Fremd can win this game, what a psychological lift for them to go back home for their first home game with the 3-0.
Second and 5 for the Vikes.
That'll push them up 5 yards against the 5-yard penalty of Conant. It'll be now second down and 5 for Fremd. The ball at the Conant 40-yard line. James Farrell and also Mike Kelly to the near side. Michael Mangan to the far side. And now dropped in the backfield is Jimmy Mitchell. But Jimmy Mitchell coming up with pay dirt on his last carry. It was a 16-yard touchdown run. But this time a little bit different for Mitchell, as he's hit for a 2-yard loss back to the 42-yard line. It's now going to be third down and 7 for Fremd.
Again, good team defense there. Good gang tackling. I saw Ambrosian over there as well as a host of others. Anytime you can penetrate into the backfield like that, you're going to have a lot of success defensively against the run.
At the 42-yard line of Conant is Fremd, third down and 7. Now rolling to his right and hit back behind the line of scrimmage at about the 46-yard line is Bursa, and that was by the defensive end, Andy Donaldson. Good play by the junior. He was able to pick up that fumble, which led to their lone score in the first quarter, was Donaldson.
Case in point there again, I saw at least 2 or 3 Cougars in the backfield of the Vikings, and they're going to be successful against the run all night long if they can get that type of penetration.
5-yard loss by Bursa. That's the first sack of the ball game for Conant, and on to punt is Barton, as Conant is able to hold their ground defensively, and they'll get the ball back once again. Parag Patel has a fair catch for Conant at the 16-yard line, and that's where the Cougars will set up their next possession offensively with 3 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and we're still tied at 7 apiece. Don't forget, coming up this Monday, it's Sports File with yours truly, Lee Anderson, as we will have on the Jackman softball team, led by Dave Rule. He's also a member of the world champion Lettuce softball team, and head coach Ronnie Schamberger, as well as Ron Kucera. At Sports File this Monday at 6 p.m. right here on LOTV Channel 13. First and 10 as the ball carrier for Conant is knocked down, I believe, behind the line of scrimmage. That was once again John Parizo, as he's knocked back for a 1-yard loss at the 15-yard line. It'll be second down and 11.
Loss of 1, second and 11 for the Cougars.
It's been a rough game rushing-wise for Parizo. He has 11 carries for 13 yards, but he does have the lone score in the game, a 1-yard touchdown run with 5:16 remaining in the first quarter. Last 2 weeks, he's rushed for over 100 yards. Handoff again to Parizo. Not much doing there as he's able to get out over the 15-yard line, and maybe with a good spot he'll get to the 17-yard line, but that's about it.
When you have a back that rushes for 100 yards plus in a game, obviously Parizo being that guy, he's proven himself as the go-to guy, and they're going to continue to give him a ball.
10 for the Cougars.
You've got to hope that the offensive line can do the job for him and open up the holes.
Third down and 10 for Conant. Call it a 1-yard gain by Parizo. The Cougars at their own 16-yard line. And now handoff and going absolutely nowhere is the ball carrier, as that was Parizo once again. He's able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. A pickup of nothing by Parizo. It was 3 plays to Parizo. As Conant is unable to move the ball, they're going to have to boot it away once again to the Vikings.
Number 17, Dennis Bednarz.
Dennis Bednarz on to punt with 1:45 and counting remaining in the third quarter. And you would figure, Roger, that Fremd's going to get pretty good field position right around near midfield, maybe even better into Conant territory.
The receiver now is, the returner is at the 50-yard line, so I would say it's probably going to be better than the 50-yard line.
It certainly will, as Farrell drops the ball. Let's see who's going to get it. There's a fumble, and Conant has it. What a big mistake by Fremd. They would have gotten the ball right at or about the 40-yard line of Conant, but Farrell drops the ball on the fair catch. And it's recovered, I believe, by number 42. There he is on your screen. Senior flanker on special teams, Andy Templeton. So as it turns out, Conant gets 3 plays and they have to boot it away. Then they get the fumble recovery. Actually, the ball bounced a little farther back into Conant territory as they now have it offensively. 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. Back to passes. Doan, he is nearly sacked, and it's thrown out of the reach of Templeton, and also in the territory of the ball was tight end Jeff Wilson. It'll be 2nd and 10.
For number 86, Jeff Wilson. The pass is incomplete.
When I spoke to Coach Pendergast this week, he explained to me how important it was to keep that turnover ratio at a high level. And he also explained it was very important for his team to create those types of turnovers. I'd say to this point he's got to be fairly happy. He's been on the receiving end of 3 or 4 turnovers this evening.
That's 4 turnovers to be exact, coughed up by Fremd. And so far in the ball game, Conant has 1. 2nd down and 10 for the Cougars. The ball at their 33-yard line. Handoff to Parizo. It opened up initially for Parizo, but it closed in an awful hurry as he's able to get out over the 35-yard line to about the 36. A pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Cougars. The ball at their own 36-yard line. 14 carries for Parizo. He's the leading carrier in the game for 17 yards. A tackle was made by linebacker Chris Barton.
We have 3rd and 7 for the Cougars.
3rd down and 7 for Conant. We're into the final minute of the third quarter and a 7-7 tie between the Conant Cougars and the Fremd Vikings. Doan now on 3rd and 7, back to pass. He's in some trouble and he's going to be pulled down behind the line of scrimmage at about the 35-yard line. And I believe that was by number 88, Michael Mangan. Call it a 1-yard loss on the sack. That's the 3rd sack of the ball game for Fremd, and Conant's going to have to boot it away on 4th down and 8. That's going to do it. That was the final play on the sack of 1 yard by Mangan for the third quarter. Conant scoring on a 1 yard, check that, on a 16-yard touchdown run by Jimmy Mitchell, as with over 7 minutes, actually with 7 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And then the extra point was good, which tied the score. We've completed 3 quarters here at Conant High School. We have a tie ball game. It's Fremd 7 and Conant 7. Roger and I will be back for the final 12 minutes right after this timeout on LOTV Channel 13.
Coming this fall to CNN.
a series aimed at helping you make a more informed choice this election year. Democracy in America. Straight talk on crucial issues facing the next president, like jobs, race relations, and making the government work again. And profiles to help you know the candidates better. 6 one-hour Sunday night specials summarizing the 1992 run for the White House. Democracy in America, beginning September 20th, only on CNN.
In an emergency when seconds count, we're trained to look for Medical Alert's emblem. A call to Medical Alert's Emergency Center gives us vital information about conditions, medicines, physician, and family. Information that helps us give fast, accurate treatment that saves lives.
Millions worldwide depend on Medical Alert protection. To learn more, ask your pharmacist or call 1-800-ID-ALERT. That's 1-800-ID-ALERT.
Welcome back to Conant High School, as the only play we have missed is a punt by Conant Dennis Bednars as the ball took a Conant bounce and it rolled inside the Fremd 20-yard line as they will set up offensively for their first possession of the fourth quarter at their own 17-yard line. We're tied at 7 apiece. It could go either way. 11:52 remaining in the ball game. Darren Bursa is the quarterback. In motion is Mike Kelly. Straight forward, getting close to the 20-yard line is the ball carrier.
Ball carrier is the quarterback, number 6.
And that was Darren Bursa with the keeper for about a 3-yard gain.
Actually, Lee, I think it was a botched snap.
2nd and 7 for the Vikings.
4 carries now for Bursa for 6 yards. Darren Bursa is the quarterback. His fullback is Keith Lazowski, and his running back is Jimmy Mitchell. The split end is Rusty Mann. Wide receivers Mike Kelly and James Farrell. Also, Michael Mangan is the tight end. In motion, going to the far side of the field is Rusty Mann. Back to pass on 2nd and 7, and now rolling right is Bursa. Bursa now is flushed out, and he goes down for about a no-gainer to the 20-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 7.
I give credit to the defensive secondary. The coverage has been excellent. He just can't find anybody to pass to. They've put excellent pressure on him as well.
3rd down and 7. Call it no gain for Bursa. The ball for Fremd resting right at their own 20-yard line. Early in the fourth quarter, 10:40 and counting remaining in the game. Will we see time? Will we see overtime, I should say? Only time will tell. Conant 7 and Fremd 7. Bursa now under center. Hands it off straight forward to Lazowski, and not much there for the senior fullback. About a 2-yard gain for Lazowski. That was his first carry of the second half. He now has 6 carries for 13 yards. As Fremd will come up 5 yards short, and once again they're going to have to boot it away to Conant. And you would figure now, as Parag Patel is back for Conant at about the 50-yard line, the Cougars should have good field position.
Absolutely. We're getting to the point now where each team appears to be struggling to move the ball. There's 10 minutes left in the game. I think what's going to win the game is the team that can step up and break one big play. We'll have to see what happens.
On to punt from his 10-yard line is Barton. Here's the snap and the boot. Patel waiting for it at his own 48-yard line and is hit immediately.
Excellent coverage downfield by the Fremd Vikings.
What a great hit that was by number 86, Jason Heinzel. A nice job by Heinzel on the special teams. Jason is a senior, 6'2" and 191 pounds. To the fine people of Potestas, once again we would like to thank them for feeding the crew tonight. They have 2 restaurants in Hoffman Estates at 1260 West Higgins and Buffalo Grove at 86 West Dundee. 1st and 10 for Conant at their own 48. Straight forward as the ball carrier, still on his feet, is Gutierrez into Fremd territory before he is brought down at the 49-yard line of the Vikings. A pickup of 3 by Gutierrez. That's the first carry of the ball game for Gutierrez. It'll be 2nd down and 7 now for Conant.
Displayed a lot of strength and a lot of balance, might I add.
The ball for the Cougars at the 49 of Fremd. 8:55 remaining in the game, and the clock is moving. Faking the handoff and hit. Oh, what a great play by number 44. And that was Mike Kelly. Check that. No, check that. Keith Lazowski. They've switched numbers on the program. Mike Kelly is listed as 44 and Lazowski is 81, but they have flip-flop numbers. That goes all the way back to the 42-yard line of Conant. On that play by Lazowski, a loss of 9.
But he went through unscathed. There could have been a missed blocking assignment on that play.
3rd and 15 now for the Cougars.
3rd down and 15 yards to go for Conant. The ball now back at their own 42-yard line. 4 sacks defensively for Fremd. They play it safe. They give it to Parizo. Parizo is able to stretch forward to about the 45-yard line. A pickup of 3. It'll be 4th down and 12 from Conant's own 45, and the Cougars once again will have to boot it away. Both teams, as you said, Roger, appear to be playing very conservatively, so really one miscue, which has led to both scores by each team in this game, probably will tell the tale in this contest.
Either a miscue or the ability to break one big offensive play. No team has been able to have a sustained drive, and I don't look for any team to be able to do that.
Here's the snap and the punt by Bednarz, taken by Roski at the 19-yard line, out over the 20, and he's tripped up nicely by number 58, Andy Donaldson. Donaldson with another nice play. He had a nice play in the first half on the special teams. A 3-yard return on that punt off the foot by Bednarz. So Fremd will begin their next possession with 7:20 remaining in the ball game at their own 21-yard line and in a 7-7 tie.
I think in general we've seen excellent special teams play by both squads this evening. There's been excellent kick coverage downfield.
I would agree wholeheartedly. Good point. Mangan now to the near side, and also to the far side for Conant is Farrell. Bursa now under center, hands off to Mitchell. He's caught in the backfield, shakes off a couple of tacklers before he is knocked down out over the 20, and in fact, Mitchell turned really a gain which could have been nothing or less than that into about a 1-yard gain before he was hit by number 20, cornerback Henry Ortiz.
Jimmy Mitchell's an excellent athlete, and if you saw there, he had excellent lateral movement as he was able to get outside, break that tackle, and make a little something out of absolutely nothing.
Call it a 2-yard gain for Mitchell. He now has 42 yards on 12 carries, including their lone touchdown of the game, a 16-yard touchdown run with 7:37 remaining in the third quarter, which tied the game up. And we have a 7-7 tie as we speak with under 6.5 remaining in the game. Good move by Bursa. He's down the sidelines, left side, and he's got a first down. It looked like a broken play, Roger, but he was able to get a big first down as it looked like he was going to lose yardage initially.
I think there's no question that was a broken play. He went back to pass. He looked up, and it was as if the person that he needed to be there wasn't there. He looked all around him, and there was nothing but Cougar defenders. He was able to scramble a little bit and get outside where he had a lot of real estate ahead of him. It was a big gain, big play.
Call it an 18-yard gain by the quarterback, Duran Bursa. First down and 10 now for Fremd. The ball at their own 41-yard line. 6:19 remaining for the contest. It's a fingernail biter here at Conant High School.
No,
Rose, and it's complete at the 44-yard line. And hit immediately is number 37, Rusty Mann. It'll be 2nd and 7. Don't forget, coming up this Monday night at 7 p.m., it's Bears Training 101 with your host, George Hallis, and join Bears and Ron Knutson. That's live every Monday at 7 p.m. right here on LOTV Channel 13. 2nd down and 7 for the Vikings. The ball at their own 44-yard line following that 3-yard completion from Bursa to Mann. I formation in the backfield. Hand off to Mitchell. Mitchell's got a first down. Still on his feet into Conant territory before he's brought down at the Cougar 43-yard line. But not before he's got a Fremd first down and a pickup of about 13 yards for the Vikings.
Number 34, Jimmy Mitchell. Tackle made by number
Jimmy Mitchell's had a big second half. He's now the leading carrier in the ball game. On the ground, he's got 13 carries for 55 yards. Mitchell in the first half had 5 carries for just 7 yards. Thus far in the second half, he has 8 carries for 48 yards. Good for a 6-yard average on the ground for Mitchell. 5:14 remaining and the clock moving. We're tied at 7. Here's the option play. Mitchell fumbles. Let's see who's got it. I think the Cougars have got it. I think they've got it. Yes, they do. At the 48-yard line in their own territory. A crucial mistake for Fremd's 5th turnover of the ball game. It appeared that they were moving the ball, but a big turnover has halted their drive. And on the other side, it gives Conant pretty good field position.
I think it was a fine toss by Bursa. I don't think there was a problem with the lateral. I quite frankly think Jimmy Mitchell tried to look upfield and start running before he had the ball in his hands.
The ball goes the other way as the pendulum continues to go back and forth. 1st and 10 for Conant at the 48-yard line in their own territory. Over the middle and open is Templeton, just off his fingertips, as he dove for the ball at the 25-yard line, but it was just a little bit too high in the air. Nevertheless, a nice effort by Templeton. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Conant as the clock stops with 4:42 remaining in the ball game. We should mention that if the score remains the same, we will go to overtime, and what happens in high school football in overtime, they will have another coin flip, and each team will have possession at their own 10-yard line of the other team defensively, and they will have 4 plays to knock it in. They, in fact, can put 3 points on the board if they would like for a field goal. Here's the 2nd down and 10 play. It's overthrown at about the 40-yard line in Fremd territory. Once again, the intended receiver was Templeton. Back-to-back incompletions by Zach Doan, as both times it was trying for his senior flanker Templeton, and it'll be now 3rd down and 10. And this is certainly a situation where Conant got the ball on that fumble recovery off the bad snap by Bursa and then tailback Jimmy Mitchell, and they certainly wouldn't like to have 3 plays and then have to punt it back right away to Fremd. 4:37 remaining. Now in motion, far side is Parizo. Ball is lost. It's going to be incompletion. That was a shuffle pass, and big number 70, the center, John Whitty, throws the ball down in disgust. He wanted to be a receiver on that play, I think.
He had visions. He had visions of the end zone.
3 incompletions by Zach Doan. So fortunately for Fremd, they commit their 5th turnover on that fumble, but then Conant is unable to move the ball. 3 plays, all incompletions off pass attempts, and they will now have to punt it away once again.
I think you have to hand it to the Viking defense for coming up big after the offense coughing up the ball.
Here's the snap, and it's a very short punt, bouncing at the 38-yard line, rolling down to about the 35-yard line, and down by number 41, that's Jason Ambrosen, and once again, Ambrosen is involved with a special teams play. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the ball game. Fremd takes over once again offensively. 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Last week in our season opener of our football coverage on LOTV Channel 13, Buffalo Grove held on to beat Hoffman Estates 17-14. And we have another barn burner. 4 minutes remaining in the ball game. Fremd scored their touchdown in the second half. Conant their touchdown in the first half, and we're locked at 7 apiece. Under center now is Bursa. Big haul up the middle, and close to a 1st down is number 32, Robert McKee. A pickup of about 9. Second carry in the ball game for McKee. He's now got 12 yards. Well, in fact, I think it's going to be close to a 10-yard carry, and we are going to have an official's timeout. The clock is stopped with 3:50 remaining in the ball game. It's going to be very close to a 1st down. Good surge up the middle by McKee. Speaking of McKee, he's a senior fullback, 5'10", 176 pounds. 1st down for Fremd as they'll move the chains. Call it now a 10-yard game. That's 2 carries now in the game, 13 yards for McKee. 1st down and 10 for the Vikings. Excitement is in the air at Conant High School. So now Fremd has 4 new downs. Split to the far side of the field is Farrell and Mann. To the near side of the field is Michael Mangan. Lazowski in the backfield, along with McKee. Handoff once again to McKee. He's got another hole into Conant territory, and I believe he's got another first down before he's brought down by number 40, the cornerback Brian Daly at the 44-yard line of the Cougars.
A fine run, but notice how the offensive line for the Vikings is opening up the holes nicely for him. If you notice, McKee has come in to replace Jimmy Mitchell. I didn't see Jimmy Mitchell hobble off the field on the last possession. I don't know, perhaps he's a little shaken up on that last possession.
Second straight 10-yard run, both for first downs by Robert McKee. And now Fremd is into Conant territory. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the Conant 44-yard line. Under center is Bursa. Once again, here's McKee. Another hole as he's inside the Conant 40 before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. A pickup of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Vikings as we're now down to 3 minutes remaining in regulation time in a 7-7 tie. That's 3 straight carries now in the ball game for McKee. He only had 1 carry in the first half, but now on those 3 straight carries for McKee, replacing Mitchell in the backfield, he's picked up a quick 25 yards. Farrell now to the near side, man to the far side. Handoff again, and this time, not much doing. For the 4th straight time, McKee is the ball carrier. It's about a 2-yard gain to the 37-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and a long 3 for Fremd. Let's see if they keep it on the ground after 4 straight runs by McKee, or they put it in the air.
Actually, it's 3rd and 4. This is a big, big play. See if they can maintain this drive.
3rd down, and you're right, Roger, about 4 yards. Call it the 38-yard line for Conant, or for Fremd at the Conant 38. Under center is Bursa. They will throw it in the air. Over the middle, and it's broken up nicely by number 40, Brian Daly, as James Farrell was the intended receiver, broken up near the 10-yard line of Conant. Now this is an interesting situation. 1 minute, 54 seconds remaining in the ball game. It's now 4th down and 4 for Fremd, the ball at the 38-yard line of Conant, and I believe they're going to go for it. The fans are on their feet for Fremd.
It makes perfect sense for them to go for it. Should they not make it, the Cougars are still going to have a fair distance to go down the field to score. And if they can make the play and sustain a drive, it would be a huge emotional lift for them.
Pivotal play of the game. Here's Bursa on the option. He's got McKee, and he's not going to get the first down as Conant holds. And I believe the initial tackler was the inside linebacker. There's that man again, junior Jason Ambrosen. And with 1:47 remaining in the game, Conant has it 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line.
We've got 1 minute 47 left in the game. The ball is on looks like the 38-yard line of the Conant Cougars. Personally, Lee, I'd like to see him put the ball in the air a little bit. With 1 minute 38 left in the clock running, I really don't think they have a choice.
Conant's going to have to put it in the air. The clock is moving. We're down to 1.5 minutes remaining. Under center, they keep it on the ground as Parizo is out over the 40-yard line before he's knocked down at about the 41. A pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Number 44, John Parizo.
Parizo now has 24 yards rushing in the game on 16 carries. Certainly Fremd has done an excellent job defensively on him in this game. It looks like he won't get over 100 yards for the 3rd straight week in this contest. 1 minute remaining on the clock. It looks like we're going to see overtime. Parizo on the ground again. Conant keeps it on the ground as Parizo has about 3 more yards to the 44-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 for the Cougars, as with that timeout burnt by Conant, there's 53 seconds remaining on the clock. Next week, our site will be Palatine as the Pirates, led by an explosive offense and led by their quarterback Jeff Heklinski, will take on the Prospect Knights. As far as these two teams are concerned, Fremd will have their first game next week after 3 straight road games. As you look at Conant now huddled around their coach Dave Pendergast, the Vikings of Fremd will be hosting Elk Grove in their final crossover game prior to getting into league play in the Mid-Suburban League North. Conant will host Buffalo Grove for their final crossover game between the North and South conferences before they open up play in their conference, the Mid-Suburban League North. Sports File comes up this Monday, and we welcome your phone calls at 577-3859. It's live at 6 p.m. And of course, we welcome your phone calls, and we hope to hear from you. We will have on the Jackman softball team, led by their head coach, Ronnie Schabiger. They've been in existence for 12 years as a team. We will also have on my great friend, Dave Rule. He's also that tremendous shortstop from the Lettuce softball team, the world champion Lettuce softball team, and also Ron Kucera at Sports File this Monday night, live at 6 p.m. on LOTV Channel 13. Third down and 3 at the 44-yard line. Parizo's got the first down, and he's into Fremd territory as he shakes forward to about the 47-yard line of Fremd. First down and 10 for the Cougars. Clock is stopped with 48 seconds remaining. That's about a 9-yard gain for Parizo.
They continue to run the ball off tackle.
They still have some time to try to get into field goal position. Handoff up the middle to Parizo. He's got about 3 yards inside the 45 before he's knocked down at the 43. It'll be second down and 7 for the Cougars. John Parizo has carried the ball the most by either club in this contest. He's now got 19 carries for 39 yards. Clock continuing to run. They got to hurry. 15 seconds and the time moving. Second and 7 for Conant. The ball at the Fremd 43. Back to pass is Doan. He throws, and it is intercepted. Intercepted. Here's Burrell, and possibly a game-saving tackle by Templeton. Otherwise, Burrell might have gone the distance. As the clock is stopped with just 2 seconds remaining in the ball game, we will have one more play, and if Fremd fails to score, we're going to see OT, Roger.
Absolutely. Great interception by Farrell, and I agree with you. That was, I believe, a game-saving tackle by Templeton. Zach Doan, I think, didn't have quite enough velocity on the ball. I think he lofted it a little too much and gave the defender an opportunity to get into position to intercept it.
The final 2 seconds have run out, and folks, we are going to have overtime here in our second contest of the year. We are tied at 7 apiece through 48 minutes, and we will have overtime following this timeout. Stay tuned for all the exciting overtime action here at Conant High School.
They crawl, fly, dig, bite, sting, and multiply. Bugs! Outnumbering man 4 to 1, there are 1.5 million known species, each with its own niche in the natural scheme, each with a strategy for survival. For one entire week, watch as they invade living rooms all over America. Don't miss these creepy, crawly, squiggly, flying things. Don't miss Bug Week, beginning Sunday, September 20th at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, only on the Discovery Channel.
Headline News.
For news that's never out of reach, check in with CNN Headline News throughout the day. Catch up with the world the first thing every morning.
Not indicate how
or
long
updates throughout the day, evenings after work.
Quick reaction to that interest rate.
As you're scanning channels, when you need the latest news, business, and sports, there's one network made to fit your schedule. Check in with...
Welcome back to Conant High School. We are awaiting the coin flip as we are getting ready for overtime, as Conant and Fremd are tied at 7. And for those people who aren't familiar, this is a little bit different than pro football as well as college football. Of course, college football, if they end in a tie, there is no overtime. It is officially a tie. Now in football, they have a 15-minute overtime session. It's sudden death. Whoever scores first wins it. And if after the first 15 minutes, then it is a tie if nobody scores in overtime. Now here, if you get the ball first, if you win the coin flip, the team that doesn't get the coin flip will always have a chance to tie. It's sort of like baseball. You always get your last up. So what happens, the team that wins the flip obviously will probably take the ball first unless they want to really spark up their defense and hope that they can stop them and then get the ball back and push the ball across themselves and then ultimately win it. But the ball is placed at the 10-yard line in high school football. They have 4 plays to push it in from the 10-yard line. It's more or less, fans, like a first down and goal to go from the 10-yard line. If you get, say, maybe 3 yards and you're stalled at the 7-yard line and it's 4th down and goal, you can go for a field goal. instead of trying to get a touchdown and then getting no points, you can put 3 points on the scoreboard and then force the other team to at least get a field goal to tie it. Now, what will happen if both teams put scores on the board in their possessions? Let's say Conant gets the ball first, and they score a touchdown and then convert the extra point, and then go ahead by a touchdown 14-7, and then Fremd does the same thing. And they will do the same thing all over again. They will then once again, the team that had the ball first will then be pushed back to the 10-yard line until who ultimately gets the most points on the scoreboard will be the victor in this game.
I tried to get a feel for who won the coin flip. I can't tell. I'm guessing right now, but I think the Vikings of Fremd are going to take the ball on offense first. I may be wrong, though. I couldn't tell.
Now, if you understand that scenario that I just described for you, you are a rocket scientist.
I see Jason Ambrosian out there for the Conant Cougars, so it looks as if they will be on defense first.
Looking over the stats in the first half, Fremd, check that, throughout the first 48 minutes leading into this overtime period. Fremd rushing has 138 yards, passing 35. There's been only one penalty for 5 yards for a total of 168 yards of total offense. Conant really has been stymied. They've had 27 yards rushing, 26 yards passing. In fact, all of those yards passing by Zach Doan were in the first half. And they've had one penalty for 5 yards, one penalty aside on each team, for a total of only 48 yards in total offense. They had 32 yards in the first half of total offense and 16 yards of total offense in the second half. So what does that tell you? Basically, it's been a defensive ball game through the first 48 minutes.
This early in the season, it's also nice to see such a penalty-free game. You know, typically at the beginning of the season, you're still trying to iron the kinks out, and you see games that have a tendency to have a lot of penalties. This certainly has not been one of those.
First down, Fremd needs 10 yards now as we start the first overtime session. We're tied at 7. Hand off to McKee. McKee's got some room down the sidelines, and he's knocked out of bounds inside the 5 at about the 4-yard line. A pickup of 6 by McKee.
Ball carrier, number 32, Robert McKee.
Second down and goal from the 4-yard line.
By number 40, Brian Bailey.
Brian made a fine play there, fighting off that block. He took a blocker on head on, was able to bow him off and knock the man out of bounds.
Second down now and goal from the Conant 4-yard line. Bursa now under center, hands off to Mitchell. Mitchell caught initially in the backfield and is knocked down as it gets about back to the line of scrimmage.
Jimmy Mitchell.
At most he got about a yard. It'll be third down and goal from about the 3-yard line. Call it a 1-yard gain by Mitchell. Mitchell now in the ball game, 15 carries for 51 yards. He is the leading ball carrier on either team.
Couple big plays by the defense, bringing this crowd into the game.
We don't have to worry about the clock. No running time. Third down and goal. The ball right about the 3 of Conant. Let's see if the Vikings keep it on the ground or they throw it in the air. Handoff straight up the middle. I believe that was Lazowski, and he is near the goal line. I believe he's close to about the 1. From our vantage point, it's very difficult to see from our broadcast position, but in fact, he was held short of the goal line.
Looks like he's on about the 1 or 2 yard line.
Ball is resting on about the 2-yard line.
Fourth down and call it, well, about the 2-yard line. So Fremd is not going to go for a field goal. See, in this situation, they can stop and say, okay, well, let's put 3 points on the scoreboard, get a field goal, and then give the ball over to Conant, hope their defense comes up big time, and Conant would at least have to put up a field goal to send it to another overtime situation where Fremd would then get the ball for 4 more downs. There is a timeout called by Fremd. We don't have to worry about the clock. Fremd appears, Roger, to be going for it. It's 4th down. They need 2 yards to score. All 3 of their first, on this possession, I should say, all 3 downs have been running plays. Do you foresee another running play as we have in the first 3 downs, or will they surprise Conant a little bit, or in fact, will Conant be waiting for a passing situation, do you think?
Well, I quite frankly don't foresee a pass. Darren Versa is 4 of 11 for 35 yards. I think you got to stick with your strength. You know, in regards to what you're saying about the field goal, I think you've got to treat this like as if it's not even overtime. I mean, think about it. You get the ball on the 10-yard line and it's first and goal, and it's the middle of the game. You're not thinking field goal. You're thinking put the ball in the end zone for a touchdown. And I think that's what they're trying to do here.
As we see it now, Fremd has appeared to change their mind. They're going to go for a field goal. The ball is marked at the 9. Here's the kick by Barton, and it is good. Chris Barton gets a field goal, and in overtime, Fremd now leads 10-7. But hold your horses. Conant still has 4 downs to at least tie it with a field goal or win it with a touchdown.
Now, call me a liar, call me what you like. They initially set up to go for it. Called the timeout and fooled me.
That goes as a 19-yard field goal by Chris Barton. So now, defensively, Fremd is going to have to pull up its saddles. And Conant's going to at least have to put a field goal up on the scoreboard to send it to another overtime situation where, again, both teams would get 4 more downs. If they push it across from 10 yards out into the end zone, Conant would come up winners, and they would be 2-1. Fremd is undefeated. They're 2-0. They won their first game over Glenbard North, 27-6, and then won last week, 38-0 over Prospect. Naperville Central, they knocked off Conant in its first game, 24-14. Last week, Conant beat Wheeling by 2, 21-19. They are at 1-1. First down from the 10-yard line. Here's Parizo. No gain for John Parizo as he is hit immediately by James Farrell, number 12.
And number 50, Christopher Barton.
20 carries now in the ball game for Parizo for 39 yards, just under 2 yards per carry.
The Viking defensive line looked like it jumped offside, and center John Woody, I think, had an opportunity to snap the ball and catch him. Unfortunately, he didn't capitalize on that.
Second down and goal from the 10-yard line. I formation. Handoff, fake the handoff now to Parizo. Doan now throws in the end zone, incomplete. Doan rolled to his right. He shook off number 86 who was in on the rush. That was also the offensive tight end, Jeff Wilson. As Doan's pass was incomplete, it's now 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line.
He did a good job getting away from Wilson. I thought it was going to be a big loss. I think they came away with a lot. They came out with a much better result on that play.
3rd down and goal. You would figure to see a passing situation. Mertz now to the near side. Now in motion, far side is Templeton. Single back is Parizo. Back to pass is Doan. He throws, and it is overthrown right sidelines, intended for the flanker, Andy Templeton. And now let's see what Pendergast is going to do. First of all, he's going to take a timeout to think about it. It's 4th down and goal from the 10. As it sits right now, Conant was able to move the ball inside where the ball started at the Fremd 10-yard line. So if there is a field goal attempt, it would be of about 27 yards. There we see some of the fans that have witnessed one heck of a ball game. Those are the Conant fans, as they are trailing as we speak right now in overtime, 10-7. Dave Pendergast has called timeout. Conant had their possession. They were unable to move the ball from their 10-yard line. It's now 4th down. And let's see. It looks though.
Looks like they're going to kick a field goal.
Let's wait and see now. They're bringing in number 41, Jason Ambrosen. But Bill Morielli is coming in to hold. And Andy Templeton, the guy who had the ball thrown to him that was incomplete on the last play, will now have a chance to tie it. If he makes it, both teams get it, and we continue in overtime. If he misses it, Fremd is 3-0 from 27 yards out. Here's the boot. Ice in his veins. Andy Templeton connects. And we're going to continue in overtime. It's now a 10-10 tie.
Well, we got ourselves a whale of a ball game here.
Both teams convert on field goals, and once again, each team will have 4 downs to score. Hey, if these teams continue to tie, it normally doesn't happen, but it could conceivably go 4 or 5 times before there is a victor. Now, that doesn't happen very often, but there is that possibility.
That's right. There is no time on the clock, and there is no time limit as to how long this can go.
We're still tied.
That's right. Double overtime.
10 apiece.
The Viking first possession. Coach Sam Medjedny certainly fooled me by kicking the field goal, but he's certainly looking like a genius on that play, putting the pressure on Conant to come back. The Conant kicker actually forcing them to come back and kick a field goal to match theirs.
In the first quarter, Conant scored their lone touchdown on a 1-yard touchdown run after a turnover, which Conant had the ball at the 7-yard line of Fremd on a 1-yard touchdown run by John Pariso at the 5:16 mark. In the third quarter, after an interception by Richard Cordova, and Fremd had the ball at the Conant 34-yard line, Jimmy Mitchell, a few plays later, took a touchdown home down the right sidelines from 16 yards out, and the kickoff and the extra point was good for a 7-7 tie. It stayed that way until overtime, and it was a 19-yard touchdown or 19-yard field goal by Chris Barton of Conant that gave the checked that of Fremd that gave the Cougars or the Vikings a 10-7 lead. And then Andy Templeton has kicked a 27-yard field goal just a few moments ago for Conant. And the game is tied at 10 apiece.
You'll notice that the possession flip-flops now. Conant will take the ball on offense.
We're tied at 10 apiece. We are in overtime. This is the second possession by both teams. 3 runners in the backfield in a line. Ortiz on the left, Gutierrez in the middle, and Pariso on the right. Under center is Doan. Here's Pariso trying to get outside, and he's caught beyond the 10-yard line by number 26, David Roski, a loss of 2.
Tackle made by number 28, Richard Cordova.
21 carries in the ball game now for Pariso for only 37 yards. They really, Fremd has had his number in this game.
These defensive players of the Vikings have been coached extremely well. Rowski fighting off that blocker to make an excellent tackle in the backfield.
Second down from the 12-yard line. Doan now is under center. He hands to Pariso. He's trying to get outside, and he doesn't get much as it gets back to about the 10-yard line. He started like he was going to the right side, then cut back into the center for only about a 2-yard gain. 39 yards now for Pariso on 22 carries.
The left defensive end for the Vikings, Jason Heinzel, did a fine job containing him and forcing him back up the middle.
Mertz and Templeton to the near side, now in motion. To the far side of the field is Templeton. Third down and goal from the 10. Up the middle is Ortiz, and he maybe gets a yard inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Henry Ortiz now, 8 carries for 16 yards. And let's wait and see now on fourth down if they once again bring Templeton in for his second straight field goal in overtime. I believe they will, as the holder number 9, Bill Moriali, is trotting onto the field. It's going to be similar to the last field goal he just made a few minutes ago. It's going to be about a 27-yard field goal. So if we see a repeat, then Conant would take a 3-point lead, 13-10.
Vikings take a timeout.
Vikings take a timeout, I think, to ice Templeton a little bit here. Put a little additional pressure on him.
We would like to thank once again the fine people of Potestas as they have fed the crew this evening. John Dahlberg and company, as John is directing this evening, always does a great job. And Roger and I would like to thank all the fine workers that come out and do a great job week in and week out for us. They have 2 restaurants, does Potestas, in Hoffman Estates at 1260 West Higgins, and also in Buffalo Grove at 86 West Dundee. We thank Potestas Pizza. The situation is this: following the timeout, Andy Templeton is back on the field. He's going to be attempting another 27-yard field goal. There's Coach Pendergast. Certainly the butterflies got to be churning. It would be for any coach in this situation.
Big pressure kick here.
Templeton needs a carbon copy of what he did a couple of minutes ago as he booted a 27-yard field goal. This for the Conant League. Here's the kick, and it is no good. It looked like it was poached to the right side, and it remains tied at 10. So Templeton, a short time ago, made a 27-yard field goal. He has now just missed a 27-yard field goal. So now, easier said than done. All Fremd needs to do is boot a field goal, and Fremd walks away with their 3rd straight win to start the season.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a field goal attempt here, perhaps on either the first or second play, simply because you get a botched snap, something of that nature. It would give them additional opportunities to complete the field goal.
Now the ball is back in the court of Fremd. All they need to do is score, and they walk away victors. If they don't score, we'll do it all over again, as both teams will have 4 possessions to score from the 10-yard line. If Fremd can convert here, they will walk away with a 3-0 record and send Conant to their 2nd defeat in their first 3 games. Let's see if Coach Samojedny is conservative, as he knows all he needs is a field goal to win this game.
It looks like we got the offensive unit out there, no field goal unit as of yet.
Well, certainly it's not a gimme from 27 yards, as just witnessed, as Templeton just missed a 27-yard field goal. A lot of pressure in this situation. And immediately on the opening play here from the 10-yard line, Duran Bursa, that is, calls a timeout. Trotting on the field is Joe Samojedny. We're tied at 10 apiece. Boy, it's certainly been an exciting game, hasn't it, Roger?
Lee, I'll tell you, we've been getting spoiled here. Granted, it's only our 2nd game. Last week we saw a 17-14 match, Buffalo Grove over Hoffman Estates. A fine ball game here. Overtime game, what more can you ask for? And of course, next week we'll be treated to Palatine and Jeff Haklinski. I look forward to it.
The only difference from this game to our last game is that the temperature is about, I'd say, well over 30 degrees in difference.
Absolutely.
Negative in this game, of course.
By the way, that is not on the warmer side.
Certainly it appears that fall is starting, as officially I believe we start this week with fall. It's certainly been a fast summer, and I hate to see it go.
I'd have to say it wasn't much of a summer at all, weather-wise.
Compared to the last 2 summers, as we had stifling temperatures. This year, I believe we had maybe 3 or 4 days in excess of over 90 degrees. We're now back to the action. First down from the 10 and hit immediately. What a nice play by number 58, Andy Donaldson, as he hit McKee for a 2-yard loss back to the 12-yard line.
Boy, Donaldson answering to the pressure. Big tackle.
Backup running back in this game, Robert McKee, now has 8 carries in the ball game for 44 yards. The PA announcer calls it a 3-yard loss, so now it's 2nd down from the 13-yard line of Conant. Now handoff straight forward up the middle, getting back to about the original line of scrimmage to the 10-yard line as the ball carrier. A pickup of about 3, and that was Keith Lazowski. Lazowski, he was very quiet in the second half. It's only his 3rd carry since the intermission, now into overtime. He has 8 carries for now 18 yards. 3rd down now for Fremd. The ball at the 10-yard line. Will they keep it on the ground and then give Barton a chance to win it here in overtime? Both teams now have had it 2 times. Fremd currently in their 2nd possession. 3 backs in the backfield. Faking the handoff, rolling right. Now being hit immediately. Thrown in the end zone. Wide open is Michael Mangan. Touchdown. And Fremd wins. Michael Mangan was wide open in the center of the end zone with that 6-yard touchdown from Duran Bursa. Nice job of avoiding the rush by Bursa. He rolled to his right. It was 3rd down, and wide open in the end zone was Mangan. And I'm telling you, he had a few yards from him, Roger, to his last defender. The only thing that would have prevented Fremd from winning that game is if Mangan doesn't hold on to the ball, because he had some distance, as I mentioned, from himself to the defender of Conant. That was the nearest one to him.
True. I understand, though, that if he does drop the ball, they have an opportunity to kick the field goal. But I'll tell you, Darren Bursa, 5 of 13 and 35 yards. Probably not his best performance, but what poise to show that type of control, to avoid a tackler, to scramble, to find the open man. You got to tip your hat to him for completing that pass. Obviously, the game-winning play.
We are going to wrap it up from Hoffman Estates, or check that, from Conant High School. Boy, the excitement has even got me confused here in our second game.
You're thinking about last week's game still.
Final score in overtime. Boy, it was a thriller, as Fremd is now 3-0. They knock off Conant here at Conant High School. The final score, 16-10 in overtime. We will try to have winning and losing coaches as well as players from both teams right after this timeout. The final score once again in overtime in a thriller. Fremd knocks off Conant by 6, 16-10.
It's Sunday night and your weekend's history. Toast, kick the bucket, finish, the fat lady singing. It's over. Unless you send your weekend into overtime. With Sunday Night NFL on TNT. So keep your weekend drive alive with Sunday Night NFL on TNT.
If you're looking for a nice, quiet vacation, don't watch this. Great sports vacation Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. Eastern on the Travel Channel.
I'm standing here next to Coach Dave Pendergast of the Conant Cougars after a very heartbreaking loss tonight, Coach. Your impressions of the game, after a tough loss?
A great high school football game. I mean, there was some fantastic hitting out there. A lot of drama, a lot of great plays from both sides. Kids on both sides played their hearts out. The Vikings defense, I thought, was fantastic. They absolutely shut us down for about 3 quarters, really. So you got to hand it to their defense. They won the game.
Offensively, you seem to stick primarily to the running game. Is that what you had set out to do? Do you wish perhaps maybe you would use the passing attack a little more? What types of things perhaps were you trying to accomplish there?
Yeah, we got caught with a little bit of bad field position, and after our first interception, we wanted to see if we could run the ball a little bit, and we weren't successful. So that field position kind of dictated to us what was going on there for a while.
Okay. Any types of adjustments, things that you're going to be working on in practice this week to get ready for Buffalo Grove next week?
No, I don't think so. I think our kids were down after the game, which is natural, but they're a pretty resilient group. I think we got to work on their spirit, get them ready to go. We come out and play hard like we did tonight, and we got a great chance of winning against Buffalo Grove.
Great, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Okay.
Best of luck next week.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
We're going to take a brief timeout. We'll come back with Lee Anderson. He'll have the victorious coach, Joe Samajeni, from the Fremd Vikings.
VH1. More continuous video hits than ever before. Tuesdays, you'll be seen double as we play 2 in a row from the same artist. It's 2 for Tuesday all day long. Back-to-back video hits only on VH1, the channel that plays the greatest hits.
It's not easy knowing how to dress your kids for school every day. Will it rain? Will it storm? Will it be cool? Will it be warm? Don't despair. Dressing your kids for school can be downright elementary when you watch the school day forecast on the Weather Channel. So make it a rule to see us before you see them off. The School Day Forecast, weekday mornings, 35 minutes after the hour, on the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to.
Welcome back once again to Conant High School, where in overtime, Fremd improves its record to 3-0 with a 16-10 overtime victory over Conant. And we have, to my left, we have on Jimmy Mitchell, the splendid running back, the senior number 34, and also standing next to him on his left, Joe Samojedny. And first of all, I want to congratulate both of you. And on that situation, third down from the 10-yard line, Coach, tell us a little bit about that play. Certainly Michael Mangan, the tight end, he was wide open.
Yeah, what we had is we wanted to work for a field goal. But the kids came in and they said, Coach, they're really giving us this play. And so we said, okay, let's execute the play and not have an interception, which will put us back to another 4 from the 10, give them 4 and us 4. So we didn't want to do that. But what it was is that the quarterback scrambled and still can't maintain the play. So we actually, give credit to the quarterback savvy to come away from that pressure and then execute the play afterwards. So it was really the kids telling me what they felt was open.
Jimmy, you had a tough first half on the ground, but then in the second half you exploded on your first possessions in the third quarter, and they ultimately had a fine run down the right sidelines for a 16-yard touchdown. Did the coaches tell you anything in the first half to try to perhaps change your strategy running-wise in the second half?
Yeah, he just told us we had to bring up the intensity and do it a little bit better, because we was really ready for it, but our minds mentally wasn't there. So we had to bring it up a little, step it up.
Coach, you had 2 blowouts, but now you're 3-0. How good is this team?
Well, it's a little bit too early, but this type of confrontation in Conant, man, they're a really good team. They played tonight as tough as anybody you could ever play. And when you come away from it with a victory, it's a lot easier to mend the wounds and to go forward. But I think what it does is it really brings the team together more. It sharpens us up. So I expect there's a reason for that, and down the line I think we're probably going to see that. So we feel good about coming away with the win, but also coming away with this confrontation. We had to really pull it together, and that I think is really going to be helpful down the line.
The Fremd Vikings are 3-0. The Elk Grove Grenadiers come up next weekend. Congratulations, Coach Samojedny, on a job well done, and for stopping by, as well as to you, Jimmy Mitchell. Nice job in the ball game, and congratulations with a 3-0 start. Thanks for coming by. That was Coach Joe Samojedny along with Jimmy Mitchell, and we're going to bring in Roger Simpson as we thank both of our guests on our post-game show. That was Joe Samojedny as well as Jimmy Mitchell. The final score, once again, is Roger Simpson is going to be coming into the picture now. 16-10 was the final score in overtime as Fremd knocks off Conant. And Roger, it was certainly our second great back-to-back game. And what are your final thoughts?
As I said earlier, we really have been spoiled. We've seen 2 whale ball games. Overtime victory tonight. Clearly a defensive struggle, as I kind of said all along. I would have liked to see more passing. I think they're both running-oriented type teams. What can I say? It was a hell of a game. You hate to see somebody lose in this type of match.
Well, we'll see you for our next broadcast as we see Palatine hosting Prospect. It's been fun.
It has. We'll see you next week.
For the entire Continental Cablevision crew, we are now wrapping it up. The final score once again from Conant High School in overtime. The Fremd Vikings are now 3-0 by knocking off the Conant Cougars in a hard-fought game, 16-10, thus dropping Conant's record to 1-2. I would like to thank all the people involved for this broadcast, starting off with our director, John Dahlberg. Job well done. We will talk to you next from Palatine High School. It'll be Prospect at Palatine. Thanks for watching, everyone, and good evening from Conant High School in Hoffman Estates.